$900 spent, almost $3,000 in revenue generated utilizing a CBO testing strategy that I've been trying to crack for the past 2 weeks. I've been talking about this a ton in my Facebook group, sharing my journey, and I've gotten to the point where I feel comfortable sharing this strategy with you all because I do have a huge amount of confidence in it. Without further ado, I'm going to take you into my ad accounts, into my store analytics, and show you the insider information on exactly how I'm doing this. Okay, so here are the ad sets that are currently running under the purchase objective. You see I've spent $1,000, and here's my analytics page. Let me refresh this to show that I'm not doing anything weird. And as you see, close to $3,000. If you're looking at my conversion rate, you're kind of confused on how I'm still driving profitability because it's only 1.57%. Look at my average order value, $90. So that is where my profitability is coming from, the mid to high ticket products that I'm selling right now. So let's go back over to the ad account and get into the strategy of how to launch a test CBO campaign and then duplicate that into a purchase objective CBO campaign. So this entire ad account has only utilized CBO. I actually created this store and this ad account specifically to make this video, and it's working well, so I'm gonna keep rolling with it. So up on the screen right now, we have my iPad actually, and I wrote this out so you guys could take a quick screenshot if you want to, and just have something to look at when you're building out your campaigns. And I'm gonna go through these really quickly just to provide any clarity that might be needed. So when you're testing, you're gonna use your identified non-purchase objective. If you haven't watched my previous video, you need to do that before doing any of this to understand why I'm not using the purchase objective. So go watch that. It's gonna be one of the first links in the description. Watch that and come back. Once you have that identified, you're gonna create your CBO campaign. Your budget is gonna be $20 times the number of ad sets you have that you're gonna test with. You're gonna set a minimum spend, and this is crucial when testing, so I'll break that down and I'll actually show you how to do that in Facebook ads. You're gonna wait 2 to 3 days, analyze the data, then you're gonna duplicate that into a launch CBO campaign with the purchase objective now. You're gonna have the number of ad sets times $50 as your budget. You're gonna set a minimum spend for the first 3 days, then you're gonna shut it off, and I'll explain why. And then you're gonna wait the first 3 days out, you're gonna analyze the data, and you're gonna either scale or kill at that point. So, take a picture of this and use it when you're creating your campaigns. Now let's actually get into Facebook and show you guys what I'm doing to actually set these up. So this campaign right here is the very first testing campaign that I launched. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So as you see, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, I had 5 audiences in here, 5 ad sets. And if you look at the campaign, you will see that I had a daily budget of 100. And if I come back into the ad set portion, I select all of them, I hit edit, I'm using the initiate checkout conversion event. I have a 1-day click conversion window. And if you come down to the ad set spend limits, I have a daily minimum of 10. And here's why. So if I take 100 divided by 5, divided by 2, that gives me 10. So 100 is my budget, my total budget. I divide it by the number of ad sets, and then I divide that by 2. And this provides like an equal amount of data. So the reason I didn't initially like CBO is because you couldn't control how much it was spending per ad set. Whereas ad set level, you're gonna get data for every single audience. Where CBO could pick one audience and only spend on that one for the entire day. So I'm a big follower of Deepesh Mandalia. And this is what he recommends to do, is this amount for the minimum, daily minimum. So I used it and it worked good for me. So I can recommend that to you. So $10 daily minimum, but use this formula here. So budget divided by number of ad sets divided by 2. And you can adjust this, but it worked for me. So daily minimum, I set it to 10 for every single one. So every single ad set was going to spend a minimum of $10. So what was cool here is I didn't actually have to wait the full 3 days. Like I mentioned, I wait 2 to 3 days, let it go. But by the time I spent $50, it had shown me what audiences were going to perform. And this is the power of not using the purchase objective. So if you haven't, go watch that video first and you'll understand everything about this specific interest testing campaign right here. So then I waited those days out. I analyzed the data. I saw, that a couple of these audiences were performing really well. This one was getting a really good cost per initiate checkout. This one was getting a decent cost per initiate checkout, but this one really stood out because it had an amazing link click-through rate and an even better overall click-through rate. It also had a good CPM and a very good cost per click. So when I was looking at this and I was already at the initiate checkout portion of the funnel, I knew it would translate well. So this is how I built my testing campaign. I launched 5 ad sets. I usually launch more. I launch like 7 to 10. I let the data run for 2 to 3 days. I analyzed it, and then I picked the winners. So I picked this one just because the link click-through rate was amazing. And then I picked this one because, once again, the link click-through rate was really good, great CPM, and a very good cost per initiate checkout. That's how I identify my winning audiences from testing. So I've done my testing, and now I'm ready to actually invest some real ad spend into these and try to generate some purchases. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a new campaign so we can duplicate these winning audiences into that and start driving purchases. So go ahead and hit create. Go ahead and create a new campaign. I'm gonna name it first portion of the funnel, so 0, 1. I like label them 1 through 4 depending on where the customer is in the marketing funnel. It's going to be cold traffic. It's going to be a CBO campaign. It's going to be interest. I usually put like testing, or this is going to be a launch though. So I'm launching these. Their interests, and let's say let's pretend that these audiences are for headphones. So I'm going to actually label this headphones just to make this clear. Campaign objective, we are going for conversions. We're going to turn on CBO. Go ahead and skip your ad set and your ad because we're going to duplicate. So go ahead and save it to draft. Hit publish. Go back into your testing campaign. Identify those ones that you realize are winners. Select them. Hit duplicate. Existing campaign, and then we're going to find that headphone campaign and hit duplicate. Okay, so this is where you need to follow along fairly closely. So we're going to come down here. We're going to change our conversion event to purchase. I'm still going to leave it on the 1-day click just because it's not that high price of a ticket where it might take 7 days for someone to make a purchase. I'm going to leave that $10 minimum ad spend limit. And remember, I mentioned leaving this on for 3 days. Leave the targeting that I use in testing. I'm not scaling yet, so I'm still going to be using newsfeed and Instagram feed. Once I start scaling, I might branch out to automatic placements. Hit publish. Come back up to the main campaign tab, and let's say you found like 4 winning audiences. I would do $50 times 4, so that would be $200. In this case, I found 2 winning audiences, so I'm just going to leave this at $100 since 50 times 2 is 100. Go ahead and hit publish, and your campaign is ready to go. So you might be saying, okay, that's cool. You can show me how to set it up, but how do I know it actually works? So I'm going to pull up those audiences side by side and show you the difference. Okay, so I filtered it by selection, and you can see the results clear as day here. So right here we have this audience that I used for testing, the one that was giving me $13. We have the one that was giving me $6. So the one that was giving me $13 cost per initiated checkout essentially just duplicated to $26 cost per purchase. Remember, I do have a higher ticket priced item, so I'm still making a great profit. This is generating a 3.0 return on ad spend, and it didn't track some of it, so it's even higher than 3. So this one is a $6 cost per initiated checkout, and this is how it's performing: a 2.38 return on ad spend, $37 cost per purchase. But once again, my average order value is $90, so this is still driving really good profitability for me. But you can see, duplicating these resulted in very similar statistics with the purchase objective, utilizing CBO testing and CBO launch strategies. So here we had the one that had a 7.94, had a 4.65, 6.62, 2.50. So we're still seeing the similarities between the testing and the launch. Since I launched that initial CBO testing strategy, I've duplicated this method. I've tested some more audiences, and check out what I've identified. So we have audiences generating 4.4, 4.5, 3.92, and overall, I've spent 905, and let me actually check out. Oh, well, yeah, I've generated close to 3,000 in revenue. You already saw that. So this is how I'm doing my CBO testing and CBO launch strategies. There's a lot of different methods out there, but this is the one that I've solidified works. I've tried other ones and they've just been inconsistent. There's really no basis to why you're making these decisions. So this is what I'm going to be rolling with as I go along, and I hope this explained like my methodology behind why I do my campaigns like this specifically for CBO. I know a lot of you are going to have questions, so make sure to leave me comments with any questions. I'll answer all of them. I'll also be answering all of the questions related to this video in a live Q&A in my Facebook group. Link in the description. If you haven't joined, make sure to join. Tune up on the live Q&A. I'll do it probably sometime next week. I'll announce it like a day before I do it so everyone can get in there, and we'll talk about it. We'll see how your results are performing, and I can help you guys out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this brought clarity to my CBO testing strategy and helps you. If you haven't yet, drop a like on the video, subscribe with notifications on, because I drop a video just like this 2 times per week or more. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Dylan out. If you're looking for something to watch next, I highly recommend one of the 2 videos up on the screen. They were handpicked by myself, so check them out. Highly, highly recommend them if you're interested in Facebook ads and e-com.